Hey there, Unitic here. It is Wednesday, August the 7th, and I actually thought I was going to be back on the trail hiking today. I'm here at the Cabin in the Woods, hiker hostel in Andover, Maine, about noon, and my friends that I've been hiking with, Not Yet and Billy, we just dropped them off at the trail to continue on. I seem to have a little injury that may keep me here for another day. I'm hoping it gets better. Appreciate the good energy of all my friends and supporters out there to get my body back in good shape, but I thought this might be a great opportunity to do a video I've been mentioning in a lot of my previous videos, that I wanted to talk more about Lyme disease and my experience with it. So this may be a long one, maybe a bit rambling. I thought about making notes and scripting this, but I don't think I want to. I think I just want to let it come from my heart, because I've been thinking about this a lot on the trail, and my body's having some issues that it didn't have before I had Lyme disease. A lot of inflammation problems I have. Most Lyme patients that have been dealing with this disease for a good time believe that the infection can persist for long periods even after antibiotic treatment. We believe that there is such a thing as chronic Lyme, that the CDC and a lot of mainstream medicine believes is not true. They believe two weeks of antibiotics, doxycycline, and all the Lyme is dead, and any residual symptoms are what they call an autoimmune response. And I imagine the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I think it'll definitely be borne out that chronic Lyme exists, that this bacteria is very persistent, very tricky, very stealthy, and very able to survive in the body even after a short course of antibiotics. I think practical experience of hundreds of thousands of patients, more every year, is going to bear that out, as well as the scientific research that's continuing to go on. There probably is an autoimmune response as well, because Lyme tricks the immune system into basically attacking itself, so the Lyme bacteria can survive. That's a lot of what the symptoms of inflammation, the joint problems, are. The immune system thinking it's attacking the bacteria, but it's actually attacking the alien proteins, surface proteins, that the bacteria rubs off on the surrounding tissues as it literally drills its way into joints and organs and basically any tissue that it wants to in the body, including the brain. So I've noticed in my videos, I blink a lot. I have some nervous tics that I didn't used to have, some touching my hand to my face, looking around, and just to share with you what's going on with me that didn't used to occur. I've been a public speaker for 20 years now, but when I speak, I have to really work at it and concentrate to get the words out and to find the thoughts and articulate them that come to me. So when you see me blinking and kind of twitching, it's actually my brain working really hard, trying to act normal and get out the information that is inside me, but I have a hard time expressing now that I'm 2 years past at least the most recent inoculation of Lyme bacteria. It's possible I've had it for years, like a lot of people, but it only got bad after the last round of tick bites in May of 2011 in Mammoth Cave National Park. So I'd been thinking a lot about a conversation I had with my physical therapist, Chuck Clark, of Results Physiotherapy, amazing practitioner and a big part of why I'm on the hopefully healing end of Lyme disease, because he's the one that figured out that might be a possibility. And he was working on me right before I left for the trail, because I was having some issues, and he used a phrase he's used before, and he said, "Logan, it seems like your body is a little angry," meaning these adjustments that he was making to my body were having a hard time staying put, that there was maybe some inflammation and anger in my body. And I started thinking, about obviously the physical issues that I've got with the bacteria and why my body would be angry, having an autoimmune response to an alien invader in your body, the inflammation that comes along with that, my fingers, my toes, my joints. But I also started thinking about the metaphysical side of that, and maybe why it is that I contracted a disease that not only makes my body angry physically, but from a psychological perspective, the political tragedy that Lyme disease is makes me very angry. If you watch the documentary Under Our Skin, and I really, really encourage you, if you have an interest in this topic, you have someone you know that has Lyme, please take 90 minutes and watch that documentary. It's free on Hulu.com. It's probably still on Netflix streaming too. It's just an amazing piece of research. And it frames the complex nature of not only this infection, this epidemic, the fastest growing epidemic in the United States, if not the world, and that's not even controversial anymore, that's accepted. CDC estimates just from 2009 to 2011, 1 million new cases of Lyme disease. Probably 90% of those newly infected people don't know that they've got Lyme. They've gotten a misdiagnosis or they're undiagnosed, and the infection is growing in their body. And it will be borne out. Lyme is a cousin of syphilis, a sexually transmitted disease. The pathology is almost identical. It will eventually be proven that Lyme can be passed from mother to child. It can be passed among loved ones through sexual transmission. It very well may be passed through the blood supply. There's not enough money going into research on those very topics, but it will come out eventually. It's very intuitive when you look at the facts. So the disease and the way it's being treated by our public health officials, namely the CDC, is produces a lot of anger. If you or someone you love is dealing with this and you can't find a doctor that'll treat you because they're being persecuted or intimidated by medical boards and the AMA if they do anything outside the accepted treatment guidelines of the Infectious Diseases Society of America, a self-appointed governing body that defines disease in the United States, that insurance companies peg all of their payment protocols to. Most Lyme patients are paying the majority of their expenses out of pocket. I was only in treatment for less than a year, and it wrecked me financially in a lot of ways. And many people have been dealing with this for 5, 10, some people 20 years or more, and I've met some of those out here on the AT. So yeah, it makes me angry. But I don't want to be angry in trying to advocate for change here. What I'd really like to do with this video is appeal to people that can do something about this. I think one thing that consistently makes me angry is dishonesty. So I'm trying to be really honest with myself and be as forthright and as transparent in these videos as I possibly can. Because you can't trust me and you can't believe in what I'm saying unless I know inside my heart that what I'm saying is the truth to the best of my knowledge and my personal experience. And the truth is there's something very, very flaky with the way our public health system is responding to this epidemic. As big as it is, this ought to be front page news and it ought to be top medical story day in and day out, and it's not. You know, I just have burning questions that I've not heard any legitimate, reasonable answer to, like why did this version of this infection, it's not new, it's been around a long time, but this version of this infection that's so virulent, so hard to deal with, and so devastating to so many people, why did it suddenly crop up in Lyme, Connecticut in 1975? You know, it was later named Lyme disease in 1977. And the experts at the time swore up and down it was caused by a virus up until 1981. When Willy Bergdorfer, a researcher at Rocky Mountain Labs, discovered it was a bacteria. It's named after him, Borrelia burgdorferi. But those same scientists, many of those same scientists that were wrong for years, are still referred to as experts in Lyme disease. Even Willy Bergdorfer in Under Our Skin says on camera that all the research money is going to the same people, the same institutions, the same scientists that have produced the same results for decades. His words, they've produced nothing except denial, controversy, and quite honestly, lies. I don't know if it's egos, it's greed, it's a combination of both, it's fear, it's reputations, but whatever it is, the human suffering is just outrageous, and it's going to end. So my appeal today, and this is something that's percolated in me on the trail, and it comes from my heart, is there are people in these institutions of public health that know the truth. I firmly believe that 99% of people are good and decent with all the best intentions, including people at the CDC or the NIH, the National Institutes of Health, that allocates the majority of research dollars that the federal government allocates for medical research, state public health organizations. There are good and decent people that see things going on through the leadership of these organizations, the very 1% at the very top of these organizations that they're not happy with. Recently, a news story came out that after more than 5 years of Freedom of Information Act requests from the producers of Under Our Skin, which was released in 2008, asking for access to public information, emails through the Freedom of Information Act between senior leaders at the CDC and the NIH and other national public health organizations, to see what these people were saying to each other about Lyme disease and this epidemic. 5 years of delays and obfuscation by these officials finally ended just a few months ago when these emails came out. And the way that these supposed medical practitioners, these healers, these scientists, these public servants spoke about Lyme patients in these emails makes my skin crawl. To call these people wackos who are suffering with this awful disease, year in and year out, and being ignored, belittled, marginalized, wrecked financially, to call those people wackos, to exchange emails about how to run a public relations campaign to shut these people down because they were making too much noise. You know, why does it take 5 years to act on a Freedom of Information Act request? Because they don't want to share what's going on at the top levels of these organizations, the 1%. So my appeal today is to the whistleblowers. It seems like maybe this is the season of the whistleblower. You know, Edward Snowden, whether you think what he did was right or what he was wrong, I do believe in his heart he felt it was the right thing to do, because the way information was being withheld from the general public in the United States of America in that particular topic was not the way the framers of our Constitution believed this land of the free and home of the brave was supposed to operate. I know there are people that know things about this topic, and the more you look into it, I think most people, given a reasonable examination, will come to the same conclusion. Something doesn't add up here. So I'm appealing to a whistleblower yet to be named in one of these organizations, perhaps the CDC, that knows something that could save people's lives. You know, now's the time for honesty. You know, the word apocalypse in popular media is portrayed as the end of the world, where if you look at the Webster's dictionary or Wikipedia, apocalypse really means, one definition is the revelation of truth after a long period of deception. So with that definition, I say bring on the apocalypse. Let's get honest with ourselves. Let's put people first. Let's get back to who we really are. I worked for the Red Cross for almost 10 years, primarily in disaster relief, and I saw what I think is real human nature after disaster, when people are totally selfless and willing to give literally the last piece of clothing they've got, their last possessions, their time, their sweat equity, their compassion, without second thought, to someone in need. That's who human beings really are. So I'm appealing to people like that in these organizations to end this embargo on the truth, particularly with this Lyme disease epidemic. So that's my rant for today. I'm really hoping I can get back on the trail tomorrow. My body is taken a bit of a beating. My ankle developed a problem 2 days ago when we did a 17-mile day, and that's why I didn't head out with my friends today. So maybe that's why today was the day to share what I just shared. Please share this video if you think it could help. I hope it goes viral around the Lyme community and beyond. I really, really, really do. I hope something from this hike can be useful to other people, even if it's just to take a little bit of hope, because this disease is really hard. It eats you up inside. It's not the only disease like that, but being shunned and ignored is difficult when you're really, really sick. And let me tell you, we're talking millions of people infected with this. Most of them don't know it, and they may be spreading it to their loved ones unknowingly, and that's got to end. So thanks for listening today. I know this was a long one. I'll get back to hiking and maybe more fun travelogue kind of videos in the future, but I needed to get this one out. I needed to get it up and out, and I'm not a Lyme diplomat. I've tried to be that. You know, I'm a Lyme warrior, but I'm not filled with anger. I'm just filled with a desire for the truth to come out, and compassion for all the people that are suffering with this, and all the people that support them, and all those wonderful people in all those public health institutions all across this country that are in the field that they're in for the right reasons. They're good and decent people. And if you know something that can help break this log jam, please come out and do something about it now. Don't wait. You know, careers come and go. Mine's over with the nonprofit world unless my brain rejuvenates and my symptoms get better. But maybe there's something else out there for me. So thanks again. This is Unitic, signing off from Andover, Maine. Hopefully the next time you see a video, I'll be in New Hampshire on state number 2, and keep this journey going. Over and out.